As the title says for today's session, it's a beautiful, horrible day. Let's meditate. Okay, so before we start today's session, we want to start with our bodhicitta motivation, as we always do. So, if you're new here, my name is Pomo. I am a Buddhist nun and the director and resident teacher for Songtsen Gampo Buddhist Center of Cleveland. We have a center in Lakewood, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland, which is temporarily closed due to the pandemic, like so many other places. But every Sunday, I have these live streams of guided meditation and usually a Dharma talk. And we also have classes on Zoom and other events. So look in the description. You can sign up for the newsletter and be kept up to date on all things Songtsen Gampo. Okay, so before we start, we want to begin, as I started to say, with our bodhicitta motivation. So bodhicitta means the wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So sentient means with consciousness. So not just human beings, but animals and other beings as well. So what does that mean? Practically speaking, it means that the whole purpose of this path is so that we can help others ultimately. Of course, we're working on ourselves in the meantime. We're doing everything we can to develop the qualities in our mind and in our heart so that we can help others. Okay, I don't know really any other path that does that. But anyway, it's not a comparative religion course, but for our purposes, at least if we can all form the wish in our heart that the time we spend together this morning is helpful not only for ourselves, but for others as well. Okay. So the other thing I'd like to do is to just take a moment to turn our mind towards our precious teachers. In our case, we are very fortunate to have as our spiritual guides Jigme Khyentse Rinpoche, Chugu Pema Wangyo Rinpoche, and Taklung Matro Rinpoche. We also have connections to Kyabche Dinko Khyentse Rinpoche, who you see here behind me, and many other masters, in fact. So these teachers are really, really important, have always been very important, and have realized the teachings, have come to embody wisdom and compassion, and are here on this earth to guide us and to help us, not just us, but all beings. And so we just take a moment to think of them with some not small amount of gratitude and respect. Okay, so why did I title this video today, It's a Beautiful, I said, it's a beautiful, horrible day. Let's meditate. Because when we meditate, we really need to meditate in all situations. Meditation will help us in all situations. It's not just something that we do when we're feeling particularly groovy on a particular time, or very, zen, or really relaxed and into it. I mean, really, in a way, if we're in that state, it's like, in a way, we have less need for meditation. And it really kind of debases, or not debases, but sort of devalues the power of meditation and the usefulness and the purpose of meditation in the end. It's not just a tool for chilling out or for calming down or for getting in the zone or something small like that. Of course, these things are part of it, and these things might be the initial reason that someone approaches meditation. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying no one's saying that's a bad reason for getting into meditation. But from a Buddhist point of view, it really is much, much wider than that. So what does that mean? Really, we are meditating to train the mind. Oh, sorry. I'm just looking to see where that noise is coming from. I didn't think my dog was in the room. So we're meditating to train the mind, to become familiar with the mind and what is happening there, and to increase our awareness, to increase our compassion, to learn and have some experience with the nature of the mind and the nature of reality, and to overcome ignorance and to become enlightened. It's no small thing. Right now, we're in this time in our country and our culture, not just our country, but in Western culture in general, where so-called mindfulness is chic. It's the thing, mindfulness this, mindfulness the other thing. In Buddhist circles, we call it Mick mindfulness because it's kind of a bit shallow, right? People talk about it; they don't really know what it is. They've divorced it from the deeper meanings and the deeper purpose of it. And they kind of, a lot of times, don't even realize what the source of it is, which is the Buddhist teachings. It's a lot more than just feeling good, as I'm sure you're starting to get the point. Okay. So if we are going to meditate, we want to really understand the larger purpose. It doesn't mean that we have to always approach meditation with something kind of heavy, or with kind of approach it as a big deal. Okay. They were certainly welcome to see it as something kind of, how do I want to say that? We're welcome to kind of approach it in a way that suits us. If we want to meditate just with the idea of calming down, or just with the idea of chilling out in some way, that's fine. No problem. But I'm just saying, from a Buddhist point of view, it's a lot more than that. That's my point. Okay. So meditation is also something that we want to do in all situations. So this is why the teachers really encourage us to, practice every day, not just practice, as I was saying, when we feel like it, when we feel good, when we have time, and so forth. We want to practice meditation as part of our daily rituals, not religious rituals, but I mean rituals like you brush your teeth every day, you take a shower every day, you get dressed every day, and so forth, right? So you sort of have this physical hygiene. We have this kind of physical hygiene. Meditation should be, or ideally should be, part of our mental hygiene. It just should be something that we do. Okay, so we meditate every day. Meditate when we're bored, we meditate when we're angry, we meditate when we're happy, we meditate when we're chill, we meditate when we're stressed, meditate when we're grieving, meditate when we're in love, meditate when we're sick, meditate when we're well, in every situation. So what happens when we do that? Okay? What happens when we meditate every day, regardless of our situation, is that we start to see what is actually happening in the mind. Okay, we start to see how is the mind in the midst of anger. Normally, when we feel something like anger, we have very few kind of reactions to that. Okay. Either we're expressing it, we're kind of just getting it out by yelling, screaming, I don't know, whatever people do to express their anger. Okay. Or we're pushing it down in whatever way, or running away from it somehow. Okay. These are kind of typically the things that how we react to anger. But we very rarely, if ever, just sit down and look at it. Okay. This is really, really important skill, a very helpful skill. It's not even really a skill, it's just a practice, just to kind of, okay, I'm really angry right now, but it is whatever 10:30, and I decided that 10:30 is my time to meditate, so I'm going to meditate, even though I'm in a rage. Okay, so I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch my mind in the middle of this rage. What does my mind look like when it's angry? What does it feel like in my mind? What does it feel like in my body? Right? This is my mind on anger. This is my mind on jealousy. This is my mind on joy. This is my mind on love, whatever. So we start to really become very, very familiar with our mind and all the different states that our mind can be in at any given time. Not just when we feel particularly, um, you know, I can't think of another word besides groovy. It's not the best word, but you know what I mean. When we feel particularly like meditating, when we feel really relaxed. Okay. That's usually when people feel like meditating. Oh, it's a beautiful day, like today in Cleveland anyway. It's a very beautiful day, you know. Oh, it's such a nice day. It's sunny. I'm going to go outside and sit under a tree and meditate. It's going to be really great. That's nice. I encourage you to do that. But it's not always going to be like that. I mean, how many days in a year do we have like that? Not so many. So that if you're just going to meditate when you feel like it, when you're feeling very, I don't know what the word is. Anyway, when you're feeling like that, okay, if you're only going to meditate when you're feeling really good like that, when you're feeling really peaceful, then your meditation is going to be really you're not going to have that many opportunities to practice, okay? So that's why, one of the reasons why a daily practice is so important. Okay, so helpful is really much more helpful. Okay. The other thing is that if we're practicing every day, then we have that momentum of practicing. Okay. So the teachers say that it's better to practice a few minutes every day, like even 5-10 minutes every day, than to not practice at all during the week and practice for like 2 or 4 hours, on a Saturday or a Sunday. Okay. Why is that? Right. One of the reasons is what I just said. Yeah. That if you're practicing every day, you're practicing in all different states of your mind, happy, sad, whatever. Okay. That's one reason. The other is that you keep that momentum up. So it's like riding a bike, right? When you first start to ride a bike, you have to really push. Then you get the momentum, and then it's quite easy. Yeah, you just keep going. But if every time you stop, and then you have to again push, again get started. So if you're practicing every day, you don't have that, big big push that you have to do each time that you want to meditate. You've already got that momentum. Okay. So daily practice is really important. Okay. Meditation is very important. Daily practice of meditation is very important. Now, it's really useful and very, very helpful to meditate formally, in quotes, formally. Okay. What I mean by that is um, is um, um, I'm sorry, I got distracted by a question. I will answer your question, Emily, in a minute. Okay. Um, um, right. So formal practice. So um, it's important to practice formally. So that means, you sit down on your cushion or your chair, you have a place in your home that you have set up. This is really helpful also, that you set up a place in your home that is your meditation place. Now, it doesn't have to be a separate room. If you have a room, that's great. If you don't have a room, that's okay. If you don't have a room, okay, then that's fine. You don't need a separate room. Okay. If you do, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. It can be a corner of your bedroom or a corner of your living room or what have you. But it's really good if it's stable, because that removes like an obstacle. Okay. So let's say that every time that you meditate, you change places. Okay. Then that becomes an obstacle. So it's like, oh, I want to sit, but where am I going to sit today? Then I have to move all these blankets, or I have to move the dirt off the floor, and then set it up, and I'll forget it, right? So having a place really helps to remove that obstacle. It also helps to kind of generate like a sacred energy, a sacred space, right? And you just like you sort of you form a habit in this place. Okay, so I really encourage you to do that. So that's like your formal practice, and then you can decide, you can take some weeks to decide where you want to practice in your house, and you try different places and see what works. Then how long you want to practice, so that's going to be up to you. Maybe you want to start with just a few minutes and then slowly increase that time until you get to half an hour, to however long you can. The longer the better. If you end up realizing, oh, I can really practice for 4 hours a day because I'm retired or whatever, fantastic. Okay. If you find whatever, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so where, for how long, and then what time of day. All right. So the teachers typically say that the morning when we first wake up is going to be the best time to practice, typically. Okay. And that is because of the way the subtle energies are moving through the body. The mind is very fresh. Okay. So we haven't really gotten into our day. All right. And also, as I said, the way the subtle energies, the channels are moving through the channels and so forth. So that's typically the best time to practice if you can. All right. But not everybody's going to be able to do that. Like if people have, I'm talking about like life, like non-pandemic life, right? When kids go off to school and things like that, when people have jobs and stuff like that. Okay. So hopefully we'll get back to that point, that life at some point. Okay. But anyway, it's first first thing in the morning. It's not going to work for everybody. Like people with small kids, for example, have to get those kids off to school. You're not going to wake up at 4 to do your practice when you have to get up already really early to get the kids off to school. So you have to decide time of day, how long, where. Okay. And you should experiment with that. Okay. But so you should do at least one session of formal practice every day. And by formal, I mean that you're actually sitting down to practice. But in the process of your day, you can also do short periods of meditation, okay? While you're just sitting waiting for a red light, you can just, bring your mind to the breath, be present, during the red light, instead of running into your mind and being agitated, just bring your mind to the breath, take some deep breaths, be present. Then the light turns green and go, instead of looking at your phone or whatever people do at the red light, right? Or, when you have your coffee break, or when you're eating lunch, there's a lot of different situations. You can have these tiny little sessions throughout the day. Okay, so Em asked a question. Hi, Em. I miss seeing your face. Hi, Douglas. You're welcome. Consistency is more crucial than duration. Yes, in a way, consistency is more crucial than duration. Okay. because of what I said about having this kind of momentum going. It's, of course, it's good if we can sit for a long time, but what happens is, if we don't have this sort of freshness, and we just sit down and we decide to, like, we're going to sit for 2 hours, what's likely going to happen is we're going to actually be aware for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're going to be kind of in a half sleep for the rest of the time, right? So the teachers say, basically, short periods, many times. So like, for example, even if you set up an hour, you can actually sit, like, meditate for like 10 minutes, and then just, relax for 30 seconds, and then meditate for 10 minutes and relax for 30 seconds. Because especially as beginners, we can get a feeling that beginners have a tendency to think they're meditating, but be in a sort of half sleep. So that's like when I explain why we meditate with our eyes open, right? That's one of the reasons. Because as soon as we close our eyes, because we have this habit of sleeping, like, I already want to yawn, excuse me, we start to fall asleep, because we have that habit of closing the eyes means falling asleep, right? Then we sort of get into this kind of half sleep, and it feels relaxing to us, so we think we're meditating, but in fact we're kind of just falling asleep, actually. So meditating is not the same as sleeping, obviously, right? So meditating is about becoming like familiar with the state of awareness. Okay, so when we're meditating, we're aware of being in the present moment. We're aware of the thoughts coming and going, or we're aware of, whatever the subject of our meditation is, whether, maybe we're doing analytical meditation on impermanence, or what have you. So in the beginning, we might be doing we might be doing just a few minutes meditation every day, but ideally we try to increase once we get used to those few minutes every day, then we want to increase the time that we're practicing every day. Okay, and that is going to depend on you, your desire, and your what your schedule allows. Essentially, that your desire and what your schedule allows. I mean, in retreat, we're meditating 9 to 12 hours a day, right? With not in a block, right? But throughout the course of the day. For very serious retreatants who are in retreat for a long time, they might be, practicing 24 hours a day. So you have sort of the formal meditation sessions, and then you have what's called post-meditation. So that's what I was trying to say before, right? So you have like your formal practice, and then you have post-meditation, which is the time in between your sessions. So the time in between your sessions, you're still trying to maintain a sense of awareness, compassion, right? Keeping the mind in check, trying to have the thought of others and this kind of thing. Yeah. So you don't just like, oh, here's my formal practice, and then like my formal practice is over here and my life is over here and never the twain shall meet. It should be one flowing stream between our formal practice and our daily life, right? So if our formal practice is mindfulness of breathing, being aware, being here and now, so we do that during our formal session. Then when we get up from the cushion, we're still aware. We don't just go back to our old habits of the mind running here and there, and just indulging in every emotion that comes up, Yeah, right? We just kind of, okay, I did my meditation. Now I'm aware of what's happening in the mind. I'm aware of where I am. I'm aware of, right, the breath. I'm aware of these thoughts coming and going. I'm aware that I don't have to buy into, every thought and emotion that arises in my mind and so forth. Okay. All right. So any other questions before we get into the actual meditation part? No? Okay. All right, excuse me, drink a little water. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Oops, I forgot the gong. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. I have to get the gong. I forgot it. So professional. Okay. All right. So we are going to begin with mindfulness breathing practice. Okay. Just need to get situated here. All right. So if you're in a chair, you just want your feet flat on the floor in front of you. If you are sitting on the floor, then just cross your legs in whatever way is comfortable for you. Then your hand should be palms down on your knees or palms up, one on top of the other in your lap, or with your fingers on top of each other and your thumbs touching like that. Okay, whatever you're most comfortable with. So your arms are relaxed. Your back is straight. This is the most important thing, okay? You might want to just like roll your shoulders back so your chest opens out a little bit so you can breathe better. Okay. Since your spine is straight, the back of your neck is also straight. See that? So your chin is going to be tucked in just a little bit. So not like this, okay? Just so that you're not. We have a tendency to sit like that. I'm so relaxed. Okay, not like that. All right. So the mouth is closed but relaxed. So not like that. Not like that. Okay. Just closed but relaxed. Tongue is resting on the roof of the mouth. Breathing through the nose. The eyes are open but looking down about halfway. So if you just look straight ahead and then you just lower your eyes halfway, a good, relaxed, lowered gaze, okay? So as I said, we keep the eyes open so that we don't fall asleep, so that we don't fall into this kind of half sleep. Also, we're trying to, develop awareness in daily life. So, I mean, if we can only be aware when our eyes are open, we're going to be really limited, okay? So try that. I know that a lot of times people are taught to meditate with their eyes closed, or they're used to meditating with their eyes closed, and then being asked to meditate with their eyes open becomes something quite uncomfortable. It's okay. You don't have to. But in our tradition, we're taught that's quite important. So if this is something that you would like to try, what you can do is just meditate a little bit with them closed and then a little bit with them open and go back and forth like that until you get used to meditating with them open. Okay? So we hold the body like this because it helps the mind in meditation. Body and mind are related. Okay? They have a relationship. Now just bring your awareness to the sensation of the breath coming in and out of the nose. So you're just going to pay attention to the end of your nose there. Now just feel the breath coming in and out. Not trying to control the breath in any way. Just notice it. Okay, so that's going to be the focus of our awareness, all right? But the awareness should be really like a very light touch, very spacious. We have a tendency to want to like grab it, and be very tense about the meditation, which is kind of, counterproductive, right? So just, it's relaxed awareness. I really love the example of a butterfly, especially now in the spring, it's beautiful. So if you imagine like a butterfly on a swaying flower, right? So the butterfly is just on the flower is like swaying in the wind, and the butterfly like stays with the flower, but it's not like crushing the flower. Yeah, it's just resting on the flower. It's staying with the flower, okay? But in a very light touch. So that's our awareness with the breath, okay? It's staying with the breath. It's aware of the sensation, but it's not grasping, okay? At the same time, we're aware of everything else. So, okay, we're aware of all the sounds around us. We're aware of our body. We're aware of, whatever else is happening. We're not trying to block the thoughts. We're not trying to push away the thoughts or push away sensation or anything else, all right? We're just being aware of the breath. We're focusing on the sensation of the breath coming in and out, being aware of everything else. So from the mind in this mindfulness breathing practice is very, very, should be really spacious, okay? Very spacious, very relaxed, all right? The body is holding this posture of meditation, spine upright, all the rest that I just explained, but also relaxed. So you're not like, I'm meditating, okay? You're not like stiff, all right? But your body's upright, maintaining the posture of meditation, but relaxed. So sometimes you might notice like you think that, like you think your body's relaxed, but then you notice like your shoulders are really hunched up. So you might want to just check, I have a tendency to do that. I might have like one shoulder raised without realizing it, right? You want to just check. Or you might be, sort of holding tension in your stomach, something like that, or in your arms. So just kind of scan your body now and see where you might be holding tension and just relax that tension. Very good. Now bring your awareness to the breath. So we're not trying to stop thinking either, okay? Just letting the thoughts come and go. A thought will arise, dwell, and disappear on its own. We don't have to force it. We don't have to invite a thought, and we don't have to push it away. They'll just come. We're not trying to stop them, okay? But at the same time, we're trying, we want to avoid engaging in them, okay? Just let them come and go like clouds in the sky while maintaining awareness of the breath, okay? So let's start that now. I'll ring the gong to start and also to finish. We're just going to do meditation today, mindfulness meditation, okay? And we're not going to do Tonglen today. So we have time. Bring your mind back to the breath. Let the thoughts come and go. We're not judging the thoughts. Neither are we following them. They're just clouds in the sky. Keep the mind on the breath. Keep the awareness on the breath. Okay, now please begin to count either every inhalation or every exhalation to a total of 10 breaths. So, counting is a way of helping us to realize more quickly if we've gotten distracted. So, if we lose count, obviously we got distracted. So, getting distracted is something that is completely to be expected. Okay. This is a really, really strong habit of the mind. It's not a failing. Okay. It's not, some kind of judgment of our character or anything like that. Okay. It's just a habit of the mind. That's it. Okay. So, but the counting helps us to realize it more quickly because, like, when we're just sort of following the breath and letting the thoughts come and go. Sometimes, again, the mind can become a little dull and we can even not even realize that we got distracted. Okay. So the counting helps with that. So let's say maybe we get to 4 and then we run off into some kind of storyline and we completely lose count. Then we just bring the mind back. Start again at 1. Maybe we get to 10 without getting distracted. Start again at 1. Maybe we go beyond 10. It's another form of distraction. So let's say we find ourselves at, 15, 20, what have you. As soon as we realize that, bring the mind back, start again at 1. Okay. So what do I mean by, not following the thoughts or not engaging in them? Okay. So let me give you an example. So let's say that you're sitting here and you are, being aware of the breath, and a thought arises. I don't know. It's a nice day. Let's say thought arises. It's a nice day. What you want to do is just let that go. Just notice that thought. Keep the mind on the breath and let it go. It'll be replaced by another one. Lilacs, it'll be replaced by another one. If there's cars driving down my street, it'll be replaced by another one. I remember the car that my family had when I was 10 years old. It'll be replaced by another one, on and on and on. We just let all those thoughts come and go. We keep the mind on the breath. Okay, that's the aim. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, what we're trying to avoid is this: meditating, focusing on the breath. Thought arises. It's a nice day, and we're off and running. Okay, it's a nice day. Oh, I'd like to go to the park, but I'm worried about, seeing other people, and there's this pandemic, and I really don't want to get sick. Oh my God, when is it going to be over? Oh, no, 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 no. And it's, half an hour goes by, and we haven't come back at all to the breath. Okay, that's what we're trying to avoid. All right, that might happen. That might happen for the whole time. You might not even realize that until I ring the gong again. Okay, if that happens, don't be discouraged. Okay, that's a completely normal, this very strong habit of the mind. Next time we meditate together, just be aware of that. Okay, and then slowly over time, that will happen less and less. Okay, this is a training. We're not meant to be perfect when we start. If we were perfect when we started, we wouldn't have to do it, right? It's a practice, called practice for a reason. Okay, that's one thing. Okay, the other thing is that we're trying to get used to the mind in a state of awareness. Okay, we're not introducing awareness to the mind like it's something we never had. All right, we have awareness. We actually, from the Buddhist point of view, have all the qualities of enlightenment already. Awareness is just one of them. Okay, through meditation, we're just getting used to the mind in a state of awareness. In fact, the Tibetan word for meditation is gom, Gom. And gom means to get used to become familiar with. That's it. It's not mystical, it's not magical, it's just getting used to something. So we're learning, this is the mind aware, this is the mind distracted, this is the mind aware, this is the mind distracted. This is how to bring the mind back to a state of awareness from a state of distraction. That's it. So the moment we realize, oh, I got distracted. That's excellent. That's not a failure. That's a victory. Okay. So when we're sitting and we're just like, we got totally carried away by some thought about a nice day, as soon as we realize that, instead of feeling like, oh, shoot, I got completely distracted, we should feel, cool. I realized I got distracted. That's the very thing I'm trying to develop. Excellent. Come back, start again at 1. Okay. All right. So let's start counting the breaths again. Okay. Body should be as relaxed as possible while maintaining the posture. So just check that your shoulders, face, arms, and legs are relaxed. Your mind should be as relaxed as possible while maintaining awareness of the breath. Don't be grasping at the breath or judging the thoughts. Just very, very relaxed and spacious mind, allowing everything into your mandala and mainly focusing on the breath. Okay, so now we are going to dedicate the merit of the time we spent practicing together today for our benefit and the benefit of all sentient beings. If you know the dedication prayer, you're more than welcome to join me. After I say this, we'll have a few minutes for question and answer for anyone who has questions, and I will do my best to answer. Okay? By this merit, may all attain omniscience, may defeat the enemy, wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of cyclic existence, may I free all beings. Sonam tam che se pani, tomne ne pedranam pache shing, ke gana chi balon chupai. Si be zole droa droa sho. Vajrasattva samayamana balaya vajrasattva janapa titatirame sutakaime boa supakaime boa sahasrame vajrasarkama sutame chitam shri yankurum ha 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 ho bhagavan sartavagata vajra mitzvajra samaya sato. All right. Does anybody have any questions? I don't wait long, so if you have a question, now's your chance. No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me this morning. Please enjoy your day and try to meditate every day, okay? If you can, try to set that up. I will be here next Sunday also. Same time, same bat channel. Okay. And next Sunday, there will also be children's meditation via Zoom. So if you want to be part of that, please do sign up for our newsletter. Everything's in the description. If you can donate, that would be excellent. We really rely on your donations so we can continue to offer free things like this. And of course, we understand that it's a hard time for many. So if you can't, that's also fine. All right. Okay. Have a great day. See you. Bye-bye.